Even eyelash under your right eye. Still there, actually. You want me to?
That's my wish.
Finger? Well, give me your finger.
There? Give me.
Wait, just slide over.
There?
No. You want me to just grab it?
Grab it. This is really cute.
So we spent the day in Baltimore with Under Armour founder Kevin Plank for DP Seth, EP Brad. I am Graham. We are back. I would like to say, starting out, I had kind of a personal affinity for this one because I have been after Plank for more than probably a dozen years trying to profile him for an episode of the show. I even flew to Baltimore years ago to meet with his people trying to make this happen. And one thing or another always got in the way, and then I run into him on a few occasions at Roger Goodell's party Super Bowl week and was just kind of pushing him a little bit. And finally, he gave me his correct email address. I realized I'd been emailing the wrong one for many years. And I think he's changed it a number of times. And long story short, that led to a fun day this summer with a hell of an entrepreneur.
It was cool to meet the guy. Like, when, I don't know about you, I mean, our ages are a little bit different, but close enough. But like, I think it was probably like high school for me, maybe early high school, where like Under Armour was the thing. And like Under Armour, like, you knew exactly, like, everybody wanted Under Armour, and it was the cold weather gear that like any athlete had. And it was, I wanted Under Armour. And so it was cool to like meet that guy, the guy who literally started it from his grandma's basement.
Yeah.
And to see what he's built was really cool.
It was weird to see the white, like the original white long sleeve Under Armour, because I remember having that when I played football in high school. Whenever I played football in high school, I remember a coach like making fun of me because I was wearing that under my pads and like decked out in Under Armour stuff, and he was like, "Donnie, you don't even play." And I'm just like on the sideline decked out in Under Armour. But I look good.
When did you play football?
Junior high and high school.
Okay.
Yeah.
I still remember I switched schools in 6th grade. We were required to do 2 sports per year. So I was considering doing tackle football, and tackle football was one of the things
Why
you
are you
could
calling
do.
it tackle football?
Well, because in 6th grade, it's like there's flag football and tackle football. And so I remember in PE, that was one of the things you could try out. And they did these drills where, I don't know what they're called, but it's one person going after the other person head on with a group of guys standing around you in a circle. What? Yeah, that. And I just remember this kid that I was doing it with, who was pretty scrawny, like just destroyed me. Yeah. I mean, like, I didn't know somebody could run through somebody that fast, especially somebody that looked like that. And I remember going home that day being like, this never again. So
Should have been wearing your Under Armour, dude.
maybe. You're right. There you go.
I played football freshman year.
Yeah.
Caught 2 touchdowns.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely none of that.
I was good on the freshman team, but as soon as it was like JV varsity, I didn't hit puberty till I was like 20 years old, so I was not.
It's interesting looking at Kevin. He played football as well, doing a lot of the things that he was the wedge buster, which means he was doing probably a lot of the crazy that you just referred to, where you're just running at guys trying to blow people up.
Yeah.
Looking at him, it's like, I don't see, I mean, you look back at his highlights, okay, like he looks like a player. It's tough to see that now, so far removed, but he made a name for himself at Maryland.
Yeah, and somebody who has always had that entrepreneurial desire. He had a flower business in college, and one thing just kind of led to the next. Obviously, you were talking about Under Armour in high school, and that was, I mean, the company and the brand exploded. Was killing it forever. Has had some more challenging times as of late. He was out as CEO, now back as CEO, and it was really interesting kind of talking to him about that, because let's face it, like, no company only ascends forever. There are ebbs and flows, and that's just part of the deal. But then you're with him and touring this campus, and it is like nothing short of mind-blowing.
Yeah, that campus was crazy. It was also the most like well-organized, not by us, tour of anything we've ever done, where like he would lead us somewhere and then the person responsible for that department was waiting for us. Lead us to the next room, that department head is waiting for us. Like just throughout the entire campus, it was like perfectly organized.
It was so organic. It helped the clip come together because we didn't have to like figure out weird. How do we get to talking to this person? Well, no, Kevin just takes us to that person, introduces,
yeah.
and then we're moving again.
It was so organic. Yeah, the edit was just like, usually everything was like, we don't typically order things or edit things like in order of how they happened. And this one, we absolutely did. Everything was just...
I'd give Matt and Jen on Kevin's team a ton of credit for that. They, I know, busted their ass to pull this all together for us, and rarely does it work out as well as it did here, and that's because of their efforts. I don't know about you guys, but I think the coolest part for me of that tour was walking into, was it the Innovation Lab? I forget
With
what
the
they
shoes?
call it. Yeah,
that was nuts.
With the dummy that sweats.
Oh, that too.
Oh,
yeah,
that,
both
yeah.
of those things were like, what the heck is going on here?
It's crazy that exists. Yeah.
Because they had different parts. Because we were talking to the one lady, Candace, and I can't remember how many different zones that dummy had, just like in its foot alone.
Yeah.
But it could tell you like all these different data points of like, it felt like, why would you need to know all of that? But I guess you do.
It
Well,
works.
when you're competing with Nike and Adidas and all the big boys, I guess you look for any possible advantage.
What seems to be like their niche, right? Is like the real like nuance of design versus just like it looking cool. It's like 100% performance is everything they think about.
Yeah, I don't know about you guys, but we've featured a number of business titans now, and they're all smart, but I would argue that it's less like intellect that stands out when you're with these people and just more this kind of unrelenting work ethic and just being on all the time and having this drive. What do you guys think?
No, you're right. There's been multiple guests we've had where I'm like, you have more money than you'll ever need, and you're still so focused on every little tiny detail of things. I'm not built like that. Yeah, it's impressive.
Yeah, I think in part, I think that plays into, he wants to be so involved because he has that drive. And, you can disagree if you want, but I think in part that's probably played into why he's gotten criticized over the years, is because he's so involved and people have disagreed with how involved he should be and with some of the decisions he's made. And we got into that a lot in the interview.
Well, what's interesting, I mean, there's a direct line there's a commonality between that and these other founders that we've profiled. Formula One's Bernie Ecclestone micromanages. Starbucks Howard Schultz micromanages. Starwood's Barry Sternlicht micromanages. On and on and on. And you can certainly make the argument that's to their detriment, but you can also make just as strong of an argument that if they did not have that quality, these companies would have never turned into what they are. So it is kind of an interesting a character trait among these folks.
Yeah, and it's like where you can never, the company's their baby, like they built it. So it's like when they want to get back involved again, it's like, how do you fault the guy for wanting to try to fix the company or change the company or improve in general the company he created?
And also to his credit, one thing that came out of this interview that hadn't been out there before Under Armour went public, VF Corp, which I believe owns North Face and a whole host of other companies, made him an offer. This is more than a couple decades ago now, I think, that had he just taken that, invested it conservatively in the market, he'd be worth well more than he is now. and you get, without having had to do any of the work over the past couple decades, but you get the feeling from talking to him that, to your point, it's less about the money and just more about the desire and experience of building something.
Yeah, he genuinely gives a shit about that product and it being the best, because like most people, I would argue like 90% of people in the world, if you give them the amount of money he has, they're never going to work a day in their life again. And he's extremely involved in everything.
And as somebody that's less familiar with the brand, was less familiar with the products of the brand coming into this, after the day with him and time on campus, you kind of come away with a newfound appreciation and respect for what they're creating.
Yeah, for sure.
Before we go, anything else?
You gotta talk about the pogo stick.
Oh, do we?
I think so.
Okay.
When was the last time you? Because I don't think I followed up after you did the activity. When was the last time have you ever been on a pogo stick before?
When I was a kid, yeah.
Okay.
I was impressed.
I
I
was
didn't.
too,
I
Really?
I thought you would get maybe 2.
And I could have gone for a lot longer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You.
Did you fall on purpose?
Did I fall?
Well, you're not. Sorry, not fall.
That was what I was afraid of. That was a concrete floor.
Yeah.
And between you and Kevin, I mean, you guys aren't young men. That it was gonna.
Speak for yourself.
Well, you are an entire year older than I am. That it could have been, which would have been great for the episode.
Yeah.
But
Bad for future episodes.
Bad for the future, but really, it would have really tied like the end of the episode together.
Because all it takes, you bounce the wrong way and you trip falling backwards and.
Yeah, I was less concerned about hurting myself there. The one that I was concerned about hurting myself was if I got on the unicycle with Steve Young, because I tried momentarily to get up on that, and I'm like, oh no, I'm literally gonna crack my skull open.
I was more worried for Kevin than I was for you, more just because
That would be bad.
he's got some years on you, so it was like just trying to, and he's the guest, you're you, and so you always gotta care.
He takes care of himself though, which is funny because he did do like a full workout right before the interview, and he just was sweating.
No, he was. Well, oh, the other piece we left out, I felt so bad. It's like a point of pride for me now. I haven't worn makeup in like 2 seasons, I think.
Yeah.
But they hired a makeup person for the shoot, and you were kind of annoyed that I didn't wear it because he was going to be.
The guest is wearing makeup and you're not.
Because
it
he
makes
was
it
going to be
really
wearing
obvious
it.
that you're not wearing makeup.
And then he gets there, the makeup person that they hire, he doesn't end up using either. So easiest work day ever for this makeup artist, who I'm sure was sweet as can be.
Could somebody have used a little bit of makeup more than that for that?
Oh, because he just came from a workout.
He was just flush and red and shiny, and he's like, I don't need it. And I was like,
And then the nice suites that they had provided to do it.
You're getting blasted by sun
It couldn't
and
cool down enough.
that was a sick. I got to stay in that suite
Yeah.
the night before, and that shower was. I was talking about it earlier. I think I took like an hour-long shower.
The part I guess we've left out is his efforts to revitalize Baltimore and kind of the downtown area. There's a specific part of Port Covington that
Is that like the cobblestone where we were?
No, that Port Covington's the peninsula where where At's like the HQ is on
the port. Yeah.
He's made a hell of an investment, and it seems like oftentimes when there are rich folks giving back, somebody somewhere figures out a reason to criticize that person for their efforts. But it is clear from talking to him, he just has a passion for doing good where he's from, wants to do right by his community.
I mean, the UA House is a good example of that.
Nothing wrong with making a profit along the way too, but give him a lot of credit for putting his money where his mouth is, and cool dude.
Yeah, he was cool.
Agreed.
For EP Brad and DP Seth, I am Graham. We will see you next time.